Tune in now, hey, don't you know? It's Anything Goes with Richard C. W. Mason Show. Talking about life, talking about dreams. In a world where nothing's what it seems. Anything goes with Richard C. W. Mason. Conversations hot like summer blazing. Talking about anything with everyone. Available on all platforms, come join the fun.
Hello and welcome back to Anything Goes, and this week I'm joined by Jannie and we're talking about holidays. Good and bad holidays, and holidays through from being a kid right up until an adult. Welcome, Jannie.
Hello, Richard. So that means it's time for a holiday.
Yeah, holidays. So, holidays. As a kid, is there like a good holiday from when you were a kid you can remember?
Well, we used to go to Butlins, and it was absolutely fabulous. I don't think I saw my parents from the minute we arrived to the minute we left. I think that was I used to take a friend. It was absolutely brilliant. Loved it. So much fun. I think I was from about the age of 10 to about the age of 13. We went to discos and we went swimming, and there was everything there, and we went to the beach, and yeah, it was brilliant. We had t-shirts with our names printed on. How nostalgic is that?
I don't think I ever went to a Butlins. Went to Primrose Valley at Scarborough,
Oh, okay.
where it's all caravans, and there were some chalets, and then there was like the water park and the club. So it's similar, isn't it?
Yeah.
But I don't think
Yeah.
I've ever stayed at a Butlins. I think is there still one at Skegness?
Yeah,
I think so, yeah.
it's massive.
And I think there used to be one out Scarborough way.
I don't know.
There was the Wallace's place. That was like a Butlins, wasn't it?
I don't know.
And they knocked it down. They filmed that film there, Little Voice, in the club part.
Did they really?
Yeah. The club was used in the film.
I didn't know
And then
that.
shortly after the film had been done, in the early 2000s, they knocked the club down and they put a roundabout and like a dual carriageway through it
Oh.
all. So just
Oh.
as you're going into Scarborough, I think it's Caton, just after Caton Bay, that's where the club was, the Wallace's
Right.
Club. And that's all knocked down and it's a roundabout.
Do you know, I've only recently holidayed in Scarborough, and it was one of the best holidays I've ever had. It was in February. It rained every day. Our hotel was right by the beach, but what a fantastic place.
Which side did you stay at?
We were in the North Bay.
Now, is that the furthest away one?
Yeah,
It is, yeah. I
yeah.
stayed there this year.
Absolutely gorgeous.
I stayed in an apartment on the front.
Did you?
Yeah.
Wow.
Which
Those
it was
really expensive ones on the
not
front.
the really expensive ones,
You know the
but
ones I'm talking about then.
it was one of the ones up the hill.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And you could
That's where our hotel was, just at the top,
you could
by the swimming pool.
you could come down. There was like a zigzag to come down.
That's it.
I enjoyed it. I got there. It rained the day I got there this
Yeah,
year,
Yeah.
but it brightened up on the Tuesday, and I've been on this health kick. I thought I'm going to go for a run Tuesday morning. I went for a run, came out the apartment, went for a run down the coastal front,
Wow.
and lost the keys.
You did. I remember you saying.
Yeah. So still don't know where they went. Had to buy another set. But apart from that, it was a good few days. It brightened
such a
up.
brilliant place.
On the Wednesday, I went walking in the sea. It was lovely. And then on the Thursday, when I came home, I went to Flamborough. I really liked Flamborough and Flamborough Head.
Okay.
And it was red hot when I went to Flamborough.
Oh, wow.
Red hot. I got burned
Wow.
that day coming home. But I spent 2 or 3 hours at Flamborough and walked as far as you can.
Yeah.
But now some of the cliffs you used to be able to go down, you can't go down them anymore.
Right.
And then there's one cliff, I think I showed you a picture,
Yeah.
where it's as wide as your
That
feet.
narrow pathway.
I tried walking that. Well, I got halfway across, but then it started to go uphill. I thought,
Right.
no way am I going to be able to.
Risk.
I'm on my own, and it was as wide as your feet.
Yeah.
You must be crazy to go to the top of that.
Yeah.
as I was there halfway across, I thought, what am I doing here? And I quickly got back to the other side. Because if you fell, you'd have just crashed into the rocks.
That's it. No one would have known, would they?
Well, there was a few people looking on,
Right.
thinking, what is that idiot doing? But dozens, thousands of people must have done it before me. But you can see where they've walked. But I really like Flamborough, and it sort of finishes that holiday off.
We took a day out in Whitby and walked up the 190. Is it 190? Was it
Is it 199?
Is
Yeah, I think it's
I think it might.
199.
I think there are the 9. Yeah. Do you know, it snowed and there's ponies, isn't there, on the top
Yeah,
there?
and a campsite.
Even they were
Shivering.
going, oh my days, this is awful, you know, but so beautiful.
I
And-
used to like Whitby.
Oh really? Haven't you been
Well,
there?
I saw my
for,
mum yesterday, and we was talking about Whitby, and she says, aren't you going to Whitby this year? I said, well, my sisters are going this weekend. And I said, no. I says, I've fallen out of love with Whitby a bit. It used to be so nice. 30 years ago, we used to go. Just over 30 years ago, my mum, my dad and me used to go. I was still at school. And we went for a week one week, and it was a different place 30 years ago. We were saying this the other day. Little oldie worldy shops, little second-hand shops where you could just find something like a... You know, my mum would come home, you know, she'd get an ornament or a nice picture or something that in these, like, there were proper second-hand shops run by, you know, little old ladies selling bits and bobs they'd collected and stuff. And now it's all amusement arcades and junk shop, you know, just shops selling rubbish, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where years ago it was little oldie worldy shops on both sides, where you have to go over to the old side now for your crystal shops and your gemstone shops and your picture shops. But the other side is very commercialised, and it's packed with kids now and adults and people on their holidays and, you know, the sort of benefits crew and stuff like that. You know, the benefits stretch to Whitby now. So it's as bad as Skegness.
Really?
Where it is as bad as Skegness now, I think. It's just full of chavs and, you know, that sort. I know I might sound a bit of a snob, but it's not a place I enjoy going now.
I was really shocked when I went to Skegness. There was just a sea of brown caravans. I was stunned. It didn't matter where we went. All I could see was brown caravans, and I just thought, this is not a holiday.
It's not nice.
How
It's
on earth
Skegness.
would you know which brown caravan you'd hired?
I don't think I'd been to Skegness for about 4 years, and then last year I thought, I usually go to Mablethorpe when I've finished work and have a walk on the beach, have something to eat and a nice drive home. Last year one day I thought, I'm going to go to Skegness. It was a really hot day and I thought, I can walk on the beach, I don't have to go to any of the shops or near the chavvy areas. And I thought, I'll have something to eat and drive home. When I went on the beach for like an hour and a half, good walk, went to some of the shops. I thought, you know, I'm getting hungry. I'm not having fish and chips because I'm going to be healthy. I'll have a carvery. Went to this carvery place. It said carvery all day, every day. I'm not going to name the place, although I should do really, and I should really leave a review because it was absolutely diabolical.
Oh no.
It seemed friendly enough. It seemed clean and tidy enough. The bar staff were friendly enough. I says, I just want a meat-free carvery, just the veg. Yeah, I think it was like $7.99 or something. I thought, that's not bad. The carvery was about 6 foot in length, and it had these silver trays, you know, as they do.
Yeah.
Paid me money, got a pint of diet lemonade or water or whatever. Went and sat down. Then I went to the carvery. I thought, well, there ain't much choice. There's like cabbage, carrots, potatoes, peas, and then some mushy looking stuff, like a cream cheese sort of thing with veg in it. So I got a bit of each, and there was this old guy giving people funny looks, and he was sat near the carvery and he was sort of smiling and laughing to himself, and I thought, he's just drunk or something, do you know what I mean? Got the carvery, got sat back at the table. It was disgusting. The potatoes, I think, had been reheated from not the day before, I think from like 2 days before.
Ooh.
And I think they'd been microwaved.
Ooh.
I think these roast potatoes out of a frozen bag of potatoes had been microwaved.
No.
They were
no.
awful. I couldn't cut through
I was
one.
just going to say.
And I
they must
tried
have been
chewing
rubber by
one,
then.
and it was like chewing one of them dog's toys. You know, them
Ooh.
white things they give
That's a
them.
bad habit if you know what that's like.
I've never chewed a dog's toy, but I could imagine. I've seen a dog chew one, and it would be easier to chew one of them white bootlace
Did
things.
you complain then?
Well, being the, normal Brit, no. It was inedible. I had some of the mushy cheese vegetable stuff, but I had half a potato. The carrots were cold, but they tasted edible. And then I just left 3/4 of the plate, and I was nodded and walked out and said thank you. But it was disgusting.
I'm ashamed of you.
I know. If I'd have been in a worse mood or something, a bad mood, I would have said something. But I walked out and thought, what the hell have I just...
I can't believe that a brilliant actor like yourself didn't go into character.
And I went to the supermarket on the way home, and I think I bought some fruit to eat on the way home, and I was satisfied. But I went on the website, the TripAdvisor website for this place, and the reviews, there was like 2,000 reviews. 1,000 something or other said terrible.
Wow. Oh, if only
A couple said excellent. Quite a few said okay.
They were starving.
And then some said poor. A lot said poor, and then a lot said terrible.
Wow.
But it was awful.
I decided that I would save up and I would take the 3 kids on holiday. So at the time I was seeing a chap and he came too. So we flew from Manchester, we stayed in this hotel, and we had the air conditioning units. There was no windows, all there was the air conditioning units. The noise was unbearable. When we got into the beds, we had to put our suitcases under the bed because there was only 3 legs on each of Steve and I's bed. The shower didn't work in the kids' room, so they had to use our room. Oh my gosh, we did not sleep. It was absolutely vile.
I don't know how people think they can rent out places so bad condition.
Oh my gosh, I'm thinking, oh no, we've just paid for this. So we get on the flight, and as you know, my son's quite autistic. We hadn't taken off 10 minutes, and the woman in front of us said, "You need to control that child." So I stood up and said, "I'm really sorry, everybody. You could be having quite a disturbed flight. I'm really sorry, but my son's autistic, and I think you should all pray for me because I've got a whole week of him, and you've only got to be on the flight with him."
Well,
God,
that's true, isn't it?
But do you know, lovely place. We stayed in a beautiful place, and all 3 of those children were nightmares. Never ever taken them on holiday again.
So yeah, Skegness. I wouldn't go on a holiday there now. We used to go as kids for the day.
Yeah, we used to go.
I don't think we ever stayed there. But the beach is not bad. Not many bother with the beach when there's all the tacky stuff to bother with.
I was quite surprised at how rough the sea was. When I went to visit somebody there, we went on the beach. The sand was lovely. I was amazed at how many wind turbines there were. And they've got these things on the beach, like funnels, and it takes the air up through it, and they were all making they were like flutes, making different noises, but obviously there for a reason. But yeah, I was quite surprised at how rough and violent the sea was. I wouldn't have thought you'd have been able to swim there.
And I prefer Mablethorpe. I say this to everybody, but it's quieter. The beach is never that busy. I've been in the school holiday time, and the beach has never been that busy on a nice warm day. There's nice food places to go to. The last few times I've been, I've called it a Chinese and just had some Chinese while sat by the beach.
Yeah.
But I can walk for an hour and a half on Mablethorpe Beach, just in the sea, and you come back and you feel so chilled out.
Yeah.
Where some beaches you wouldn't, like Cleethorpes. No,
I
we
love
disagree on
Cleethorpes.
this subject.
We do.
I went it was last August time. It was probably, it was late August because it came dark about this time. So
Yeah.
I went and I thought, do you know, I've not been out anywhere all day. I'm going to go for a walk at Cleethorpes. It was busy on the front, got parked
I
up.
know. Massively
Right
busy.
way down, I got parked up, started to walk on the beach, and the tide came in. But came off the beach. By the time I'd walked to the swimming pool,
Yeah,
you know that
yeah,
place, is it the leisure
absolutely,
centre?
yeah,
By the time I
yeah.
got there, the sea had gone out again. So I came back on the beach. Talk about
Wow.
coming in and then going out
Yeah.
again quick.
Quick tide.
Yeah.
Quick
So I walked
tide.
back on the beach
Really
and then got near
dangerous.
the amusements and that rusty old
Yeah,
wheel that's been there like
yeah.
40 years.
Forever.
Got near there was a nappy and a pair of men's pants on the floor, and I was like, my God, I'm not coming here again. It was disgusting. And then the best thing about that whole night was the sunset came in, and I got some really nice pictures of
Yeah.
a really big sun over the sea.
Yeah.
And that was the best thing about the day.
Every time I go to Cleethorpes, the sea is so far out. I've lived here for 7 years and I've only ever put my feet in the sea once, because every other time that sea is so far out I can't even see the ruddy thing. All I can see is
Strange,
sand.
isn't it?
But oh, it's so good for the feet.
I was in a musical duo once, and we said, where are we going to go and take some like promotional pictures? This was the early 2000s. And we said, we'll go to Cleethorpes. We'll do some on the beach.
Yeah.
So went to Cleethorpes. Beautiful, sunny, red hot day. We were both dressed smart, cameras ready. Because back then it weren't digital, it was like
Yeah.
film. Just got the I said I'll get the car parking ticket. I got to the car park ticket thing on the front, just putting the money in. By the time I'd pressed the ticket, the button to get the ticket, this sea mist had come in, and
No.
it had gone from being a red hot sunny day to this misty, cloudy, awful. It took the heat with it. It just turned, and we're both like, what the? And that was it.
Really?
We just walked up and down the front, stood on a few like posts and things, taking these crap pictures when it was a red hot sunny day moments before.
Oh my God.
It was so frustrating. We drove an hour to be
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
Anyway, we still got a few pictures, but they weren't very good. So, yeah, Cleethorpes we used to go when I was a kid, because it was only an hour away from where we lived.
Yeah.
And we used to know some people there who had donkeys and horses, and they brought
Absolutely.
them to us in the winter to stay on the farm.
They are the best donkeys. They are so beautifully looked
So
after.
we would go in the summer and we'd know the donkeys and get
Yeah.
free rides, because
Yeah.
we were friends with the people who did the donkey rides.
I think they are the same people, aren't they?
I think,
I'm sure
yeah.
they
Well, the guy who
are.
does it now, he's at Skegness doing them. He's
Oh,
not
is
at
he?
Cleethorpes
Oh,
anymore.
okay.
He's now based in Skegness.
Okay.
But Have you bothered with Inglemells and that area?
We went for the day. I took the kids for the day, and we all thought it was very tacky, so it wasn't for us.
I've not been for 15 years or more.
It wasn't. I was quite shocked at how tacky it was.
And then there's Chapel St Leonard's. I don't think I've ever been there, or I might have done.
Well, I went there last year. It's actually a very pretty place. It was very nice. Yeah, it was lovely.
Better than Skeggy?
Oh, way better than Skeggy. It's quaint, very quaint.
Oh.
And there is a very nice chalet park there, and the person I
Right.
went with happened to have one of these chalets, and some of them were really decked out beautifully. So yeah, I wouldn't mind doing that. Yeah, I thought that was quite sort of pretty. Yeah, not
Well,
bad.
recently I was looking at just going away for a couple of nights or a night just to break up,
Yeah,
the monotony of everyday life.
life.
And I looked at a wooden caravan at Sutton-on-Sea.
Oh,
Big wooden
Very nice,
caravan,
yeah.
full double bed in it, full kitchen and full shower bathroom toilet.
Yeah.
And it was £100 for the night, and I thought, that is going to look really nice. I can have a day at Mablethorpe. You could check in dead early as well.
Yeah.
So I thought I could drive there, check in, put all my stuff in, go and walk on the beach for miles, have a look round Sutton-on-Sea, Mablethorpe, come back, chill out in the evening. Then the next day I can go spend more time at one of the places before coming home. And the reviews were okay, actually. And then I made the mistake of looking on TripAdvisor or one of the others, and it said, kids running around while all hours, not as peaceful as it looks, dirty caravan, bed bugs in the bed. And I was like, but some of these reviews were quite old, and I thought, could they be from before these owners? But you don't know. Anyway, it put me off it, and I just went to Manchester overnight.
Oh, the word bed bugs. Ooh, makes
So
me scroll.
I went on the train to Manchester the other week, and the hotel was okay. It was an Ibis.
Not bad, are they? I quite like Ibis.
It was okay. I thought I was a bit itchy at night. I don't know if they'd washed the sheets in, or there could have been bed bugs, but the room wasn't bad. The TV didn't really get many stations, but it was a room for the night.
Yeah. I didn't go for a night, but my daughter took me to Bradford for the day. Wow, what a place. What fantastic architecture. She said, let's go in, I think it's W.H. Smith's. Oh my gosh, it's like a cathedral.
Really?
It is so amazing. At the front, it just looks like a glass-fronted building. It doesn't know anything at all. But oh my gosh, you go in and it's amazing. She took me to the most superb places. We went to gardens.
Really? I've never been to Bradford.
Oh, it is absolutely beautiful. It's not very big, but really easy on the trains. We went from Leeds to Bradford. It is absolutely beautiful. Museums, everything you could possibly think of. We had a really horrible meal, but that's, you can have a horrible meal anywhere.
Goodness.
But you know, wow, what a
it's
place.
Good to get somewhere new, isn't it?
I would not, if you just said to me, let's go to Bradford,
I wouldn't even think of it.
Do you know, what a great day out. It has so much. It's really compact and bijou, and the architecture is out of this world. Yeah, really, really nice. Can't wait to go again. And next year it's Bradford City of Culture, so there will be loads of stuff to go and see. Yeah, definitely recommend that one.
Well, I do quite like London because every time I go, it's just like discovering new places.
Yeah.
Whenever I go, I stopped in Hackney Wick last time, and it wasn't the easiest of places to get to when you're in the centre.
Yeah.
It's 2 overground journeys to Hackney
Wick.
Wick.
On a leg, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like you change at Islington and Highbury, and then you go from there to either Hackney Wick or I forgot the name of the other one. There's another stop. The other stop is slightly closer to where I stayed, but the Airbnb was near a park. And just opening the curtains in the morning from an Airbnb and seeing a park behind you.
Yeah, in London.
To wake up and to not look out on a busy street or a brick wall against another hotel. It was fantastic.
Yeah, very nice.
So I did enjoy that. And the thing about London is I get the day ticket, so it's like £16 for the day on the trains. You know, you can go on any bus, any underground train or overground train.
Wow.
So it's zones 1 to 6, so I think that's it. You know, I'm not gonna walk up and down bloody Piccadilly all day and Covent Garden. I've been there dozens of times before. I think I'm just gonna get on and go to a place I've never heard of.
Yeah.
Come up the underground and just wandering. You're in a place you probably never go again.
Yeah.
And I think just have a look in the shops here, you know, crystal shops and collectible shops, and just wander about. And it's just nice to see how other people live in these other areas that you've never been to before and probably never go to again because you can't remember the name of it. You just get back on the underground and then get off at the next one.
my friend and I, we went to Penge one day, and we went into like this Christian centre, and we had tea and cake. Oh my days, it was homemade cake. Oh, we got the biggest slice for the smallest amount of money. It was absolutely brilliant, and they were doing like a jumble sale, and we were after particular things. It was amazing. It was so good. I mean, who on earth would imagine that Penge could be? And actually, it is a really interesting place. It's very multicultural. We had different food in the evening. I think we might have had, I don't know, a Jamaican sort of food in the evening. But yeah, really, really nice.
Thinking of the South Coast, I've been to Bournemouth 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Now
Yeah.
that area was nice.
Yeah.
I stayed in Wimborne, Dorset with some
did
friends.
you? Oh,
there
very
was
nice.
4 of us went, but it was a bit of a holiday from hell. But to cut a long story short, I ended up in hospital with kidney stones.
That was the start of that then.
Oh, well, on the way down there, I felt ill and I knew what was in the post. And
Right.
by that night time, I ended up in hospital for 2 days.
Right.
But I enjoyed the rest of the week when I got out of hospital. We went to
Yeah.
lots of nice places I
Yeah.
can't even remember the name of, but really nice, like countryside places.
Yeah.
And there was
It's
lots
absolutely beautiful.
of history to them.
Yeah.
There's like one place there was like something to do with witches or something, and
okay.
there was like a village what was, you know, linked to witches years ago, and
Yeah.
all these
Yeah.
stores and shops where you could buy things, and
Yeah.
but with missing 2 days, we was trying to cram in 7 days worth of stuff
Yeah.
into 5
Yeah.
that were left because I'd been in hospital,
Yeah.
and they'd not really gone far. They didn't
Yeah,
want to go to
because of you
because
being in hospital,
yeah, so but we still saw a lot. I would like to go back there again, and I can't believe it's 20 years just it's
I
gone
know,
like
where
that
did
since
that
I was
go?
last there.
Yeah. Have you been to that other witchy place, Wookie Hole?
No.
Oh wow, that's amazing. Going down in those caves, and they've certainly. I did it when I was a kid, and you just went down in the caves, and it was nothing special. But now, it's an experience. And I don't remember those caves being so terrifying. But as an adult, there are some very narrow places.
Right.
But I'm pretty sure that they've now opened up somewhere and you can go trampolining down there or something really bizarre, you know. It is a whole different experience. But that is absolutely gorgeous all round. I mean, I'm going further now. Where's Wookie Hole? Wookie Hole is near Devon, Cornwall way.
I don't think I've ever been as far as that. No. See, with my dad working on the farm as a kid, we never went too far. We went to Jersey one year.
Wow.
So
Never
I think
been there.
my best holidays as a kid probably were Great Yarmouth. Even though it rained, you was
Oh,
with
it's
your family,
lovely.
you had your little
Yeah.
cagoule on,
Yeah.
and the hotel we stayed in was lovely, and it had a downstairs basement with a big TV, and my nana used to watch tennis, and there was always something to do at Great Yarmouth.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
then
I like
we went
Yarmouth.
to Jersey one year. That was okay. I remember cutting my feet on the beach because it was all rocks. You know, it wasn't very sandy, but there was
Wow,
lots
I
to
didn't
do.
know that.
There was lots to do where we stayed. We stayed in a hotel called the Montague Hotel,
Oh, that sounds terribly posh.
and there was a lot of Portuguese working there, and they were so friendly, lovely people. And
Very nice.
they used to do like a kids club, and us kids would go off with
Yeah.
you know the Portuguese in the kids area, and they would play games and films on and stuff. It was lovely. So yeah, best holidays as a kid would be Great Yarmouth, Jersey, and Whitby before it became all chabby.
Yeah. Yeah.
As an adult, I don't know. I've only just for years I didn't have holidays through various jobs and stuff.
Yeah.
I think just started to have holidays again since the lockdown sort of thing.
Yeah.
I'd just go for days out before really.
Yeah.
I think I went for probably 10 years without going anywhere. I went to Blackpool a lot with my mother and father. Went there while my dad was still here. and we had some good holidays there, but that has changed in the 20 odd years since we used to go. It's so busier now, and there's so more hen and stag parties go. It's not the same. There were them there then, but it's 10 times as worse now. And it's run down more now. There's so more homeless and drunks and stuff there.
And it's so sad. That is so sad.
I went to Blackpool, I think, before the lockdown, about 2019. It rained for the first couple of days, and I was walking around the supermarket on the second night there, and it was raining, and I thought I would be normally doing this at home, and I might as well be just at home. I was staying in an apartment, and I thought I feel like just getting in the car and driving home. I was so bored, and it was so dark, and then on the Tuesday, I think the sun came out, and it was a different holiday then.
Yeah.
So,
and I think what's different now is that because we are on our own, because we are single, we now holiday on our own, and that's a very different experience, isn't it?
Yeah, you get used to it, don't you?
Yeah,
you get
it's quite
used
nice,
to.
Isn't it?
I've been in the past 10 years. I think I've been on holiday with a friend or two, but I'll take it or leave it. I don't mind going on my own.
No, I'm quite happy to trundle off.
Like
by
when
myself.
I recently went to Manchester, I didn't book it till the morning. I didn't know whether I was going to go in that wooden caravan thing, and I thought, it's them reviews put me off.
Yeah.
The reviews on the hotel were nice in Manchester. Like, I'll go there.
Yeah.
But maybe next year, or there may be still time yet, because it's not winter yet, is it? There's still a bit of time.
I had hoped to go over and see my friends in Spain, but I've run out of money. But I quite like that. I quite like going on the plane by myself, and I definitely hire a car this time and explore more of it,
So to sum up, your best holiday, where would you say that was? Was it as an adult or as a kid? And where did you go? Best place you've been to? Nice hotel, nice surroundings. Really sticks in your memory as your best.
Clearly it doesn't.
No, it doesn't, does it?
No.
Okay, worst holiday.
Our worst holiday. Oh, do you know?
I'm trying to think of my worst holiday now.
It was last year. We booked to go to. It was this time of year. We went at the end of September to Tenerife. We had a 5-star hotel. It was supposed to be 22 degrees. We got there and it was 32 degrees. It was so hot. And in this 5-star hotel, we were put in a room above the sewer.
Oh my God.
Gosh. And the bathroom doors were opaque. So one of us had to go and sit on the balcony while the other one used the bathroom because you could see in.
Oh,
it was awful. So we complained and we had to wait a few days before we could move rooms. So then they moved us up to the top of the building, which was very nice, much nicer balcony, much nicer room. But because we had silver bracelets, we got a 2nd class service, and had we have had gold bracelets, we would have got the 5-star service.
Gosh.
So yeah, it was really awful. Yeah, it was horrible.
I think my worst one would be, I think it's between 1 year in Blackpool when I went with my mum. We stayed in this hotel that was well off the beaten track. It was well off the front. It was like 10-15 minutes walk from the front to the hotel.
Wow.
And I don't know where to start with it. The food was okay, but nothing special.
Yeah.
The people who owned it were okay, but nothing special. They were actually from Scunthorpe. That's why it was my auntie who recommended it to us. Right. And she said, oh, they're from Scunthorpe. And my uncle sort of knew of them, or and that's why they went and they recommended it to us. I was put in this little Harry Potter room at the top of the hotel with like a piece of plywood as a wall with a bit of wallpaper on it, separating me from the next room that was a family room. The kids used to run around like little Tasmanian devils, banging into this wall, and the wall moved every time they banged into it.
No.
Anyway, after 3 nights, they went. The family checked out. I thought, thank God for that. It can't get any worse. It did. 2 lads who were working away from home, they moved into the room. It was like there's several beds in there.
Yeah.
They were up all night, drinking, smoking, playing music. The second night they brought lasses back. They were obviously drinking, smoking, laughing and giggling all night. Oh my God.
No.
I didn't get to sleep. They didn't shut up till 7 in the morning. Breakfast was at 8:30. I think I got maybe 1 hour's sleep. I don't think it was even that. But they went quiet at 7 o'clock in the morning.
Oh no.
I came down to breakfast and I said to my mum,
Can we go now?
I've had 1 hour's sleep. She says, why? I says, them 2 guys there, laughing and joking all night, playing music.
No.
Anyway, they stayed another night, but they weren't allowed to bring anyone back.
Right.
And they were still as noisy till about 4 in the morning. And then that day she asked them to leave. So I lost 2 nights sleep.
Wow.
And then there was one more night we were there and I got 1 more night's good sleep before I had to do the 3.5 hour drive home. But that was awful.
Oh my gosh, that
And
is, yeah.
the
that's
bathroom
really bad.
was, I've never seen a bathroom in a hotel so small. There was like a toilet, but you had to sort of step around the toilet to get into the shower.
Yeah.
And the shower just made you feel so claustrophobic because it sloped down and you had to sort of tilt your head while you was in the shower. And the bed was just small enough to fit in and get round. But she said, oh, you've a sea view. Yeah, if you stood on one leg, leaning and looking out the window, then you had a sea view. But that was my worst holiday.
Yeah, we did one of those in Eastbourne. Oh my gosh, it was right on the seafront, and the ensuite bathroom, the shower was so narrow, and the chap that I was going out with was about 6'2" and just as wide. And I remember him getting in and saying, I think you might have to soap me to get me out. I can't move. He turned round and got wedged.
Oh my gosh.
But oh God, it was so dirty.
Well, I went to Barry Island as well.
Oh yeah, I remember you going there.
That I stayed in they'd converted the loft of a bungalow into a...
Yeah, I remember. It was quite nice.
It was nice, although it was bijou.
Mm-hmm.
And you mentioned the ensuite in that other place. This ensuite had no door. So
oh, really?
I was there on my own. If one person was in bed and the other person was in the shower or on the toilet, you would know. You would just
be waving.
You could sit and wave and have a conversation with them.
That's what it was like in Tenerife.
But the shower there was tiny, and a bigger person wouldn't have got in it.
No.
And a bigger person wouldn't have got to the toilet because it was at the side of the shower.
Yeah.
Some people wouldn't fit round the corner.
Absolutely.
And the floor was creaky, but it had this charm about it. She was lovely. She must be going on 80. And people have said to me, would you go back there? And I say, yeah, I would. But it was lovely and cool because she had several of them skylight windows that you just open and the draft came straight in.
So nice.
And it was so cool. But she did lie about the distance to the beach. I said, how far is it to Barry Island Beach? She said 20 minutes-ish. Maybe by Concord.
Wow.
But not walking. It was 20 minutes walk to the nearest shop. That was up a hill. 20 minutes up a hill to the nearest shop, a Sainsbury's local. 20 minutes down into the town to the train station. Then another 20 minutes from the train station to the beach. So an hour's walk.
Well over an hour.
Over an hour's walk to the beach.
Yeah.
So when you were at the beach, you used to think, I have an hour to walk back. You know, if you're thinking of going back to the Airbnb for something to eat, because I was trying to eat healthily while I was there. And you think, oh no. So I got blisters. I was doing on one day, I did nearly going on 30,000 steps.
Wow.
And it was up and downhill. It's very hilly.
So it was a very healthy holiday.
Very healthy holiday, that. Yeah, very. But I would stay there, but I'd maybe take the car. I did go on the train. But it was close enough to Cardiff and that to go
I
there.
think that's what made our 5-star hotel really, really bad. Was it was an all-inclusive, all the food you could eat. Oh my God, it was disgusting. You couldn't drink the water because you had a very bad tummy, so you couldn't have tea or anything. You had to go and buy your water or your drink to go with your meal. It was worrying to how long that meal had been there, because breakfast was something like 7:30 till 10.
Right.
That's a long time for food to be out, isn't it?
It is, isn't it?
So
well, we used to go to a hotel in Blackpool, me, my mum and my dad, and the food was on point. This old couple had it. Fantastic food, fantastic rooms, loads of piping hot water, lovely sea view. It was on the front, on the North Shore. We didn't book anywhere one year. We just turned up, and we just stumbled upon it.
Yeah.
Lovely family, looked after you, so friendly. All the other guests, lovely food, breakfast and an evening meal. They retired, and after my father passed away, me and my mum went, and this other couple took it on, and it was nearly as good. Yeah, it was pretty much the same.
Yeah.
Then they left after about 3 years of us going, and this lady took it on who used to be a prison officer. And I think she thought she was running the prison.
Oh.
It was awful. There was nobody else in apart from me, my mum, and this lady. She did art weekends and stuff. She was quite arty-farty, and she did art weekends, and that's all she was mainly bothered about, and having nice hotel guests that were quiet, that didn't require a drink from the bar or anything.
Wow.
So, breakfast. How can you spoil breakfast for hotel guests? It's not hard. You do cereal, milk, and eggs and bacon in it. She couldn't cook eggs and bacon. She'd either burn them or give you them raw. Not that I eat eggs and bacon, but my mum would be like, this bacon's undercooked. And my mum was wrapping things up in, serviettes to go and put them in the bin instead of offending her. The milk was stale in the morning for the cereal.
No.
And people were like, is your milk off? And we'd ask for fresh milk. She'd just bring more stale milk. But there was only 3 or 4 of us in the whole hotel that had 20 bedrooms. She stuck us in the back box rooms that looked out onto the other hotels, like bins and stuff, when the front nice rooms that looked out onto the sea were empty. Oh, it was awful. There was a chambermaid, this bloke, he was probably in his 30s, tattoos, vest. It looked like...
No, that's disgusting.
He stunk of fags, and he'd never changed the sheets or towels or anything. He never did anything to the rooms, just used to wander around.
Ew.
No, the rooms weren't maintained at all. And my mum said to me one night, have you had a new towel? I'm like, no. She says, I found a cupboard where they are. I've gone and got some. Because he hadn't come into the room to even empty the bin.
Ew.
But anything was too much trouble for this woman. The shower water was just lukewarm enough to get a shower without being frozen. But when you tell her about it, oh, it's playing up the heating thermostat. And we kept in touch with other people who ran it, and they said, oh, she's probably not putting the heating on till she needs to, or only like an hour before people are getting up. But it was awful.
Wow.
She took this lovely, fantastic hotel and turned it into something totally opposite.
Yeah.
Ruined the food.
Yeah.
Ruined the rooms. It put you in the rubbish rooms when you could have gone in the nice rooms that we were used to.
Yeah. Yeah.
But she'd ruined it. The best thing about it was the bit at the front, but the best bit, well, the worst bit. We used to come in, when I'm not a big drinker, my mum wasn't. We used to come in, my mum would like a coffee of an evening, sit and watch the world go by before going to bed. I would probably have a glass of wine when the other people were there, watch the world go by, go to bed. You'd come in at 8:30, place in darkness. There'd literally be the corridor light on to go to your rooms, the whole bar, restaurant and everything pitch black. And she lived behind the restaurant and the bar. It was just enough like to say, we're shut this part, go to your room.
Wow.
And she would say to you at the evening meal, she would say, are you planning on having a drink this evening? And we go, well, maybe when we come in, yeah, it'd be about 8:30, 9 o'clock. Oh, we're just wondering if to open the bar for you or not. And then she'd be gone. And she'd say, one night she said, oh, you can just ring the bell if you want me to get anything, but you didn't like feel like you're putting her to any trouble.
No.
She'd have to put all the lights on and just go to our rooms. But the evening meal, the food, soup, powdered soup mix. It was either so thick that your spoon would stand up in it, or so thin it was like water. That was your starter. Main meal was something she'd microwaved. Like, I recognised some of the microwave vegetarian meals. They were from Asda. And I was like, oh, Mum, this is from Asda, you know. So I was recognising some of the meals. And you could hear her pinging things while you was sat in the front porch veranda thing looking out onto the sea. You could hear her pinging the microwave. But if you'd come in, the evening meal was at 5:30. You'd come in at 4:30.
God, how many days did you stay there?
A week.
Oh,
So
7 days.
You'd come in at 4:00, 4:30, and she were cooking things then, and I think she just reheated things at tea time, and there was no more than ever more than 6 people eating at night. It was usually myself and my mum and 2 more. She was cooking for 4 people, but she'd cooked it all, put it on the side, and then was just pinging it as you needed it. And then dessert was tinned cocktail fruit with ice cream, and the cheapest ice cream that you've ever tasted, you know, with the frozen bits of ice in it.
Yeah.
Tinned fruit with ice cream, or some frozen easy cook, you know, that she could defrost,
something nasty.
like some chocolate fudge cake that had been in the freezer years, and that was your dessert. And I think my mum said, if I realised the food was this bad, we could have eaten out every night. She had no hospitality skills, she was nothing. She had nothing to offer, and she couldn't cook.
Awful.
Cold water, stale milk, bad food, no atmosphere. Shut the
I
bar.
wonder if it's still open.
She left, and she'd give it that bad a review. The reviews on TripAdvisor were all terrible.
Right.
She'd run it into the ground. She'd run it that much into the ground. Somebody else bought it, and they changed the name. They had to change the name. It had the same name for 50 years. They had to change the name of the hotel.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that was probably the worst hotel I've ever stayed in.
God, that sounds
In fact,
like
I'm
the
pretty
hotel
sure
from
it
hell.
was. I can't think I've ever been in one as bad.
I think one of my most beautiful memories is when my girls were little and we owned a caravan in Pevensey Bay, on the beach. Oh my gosh, it was so beautiful. It was the most stunning caravan, and it had a big veranda all the way around it. And the kids used to have little trikes, and we used to trike over to the clubhouse, and they'd go swimming. And when it was, you know, the sun was out, they'd put on their little swimming cozies, and we'd go down the beach and make sand castles. And I think they were my most beautiful memories of taking my kids on holiday. Just
Yeah,
really,
I think
really nice.
when you're a kid, holidays are just like fantastic, aren't they? We had 1 year, I think my dad said, we can either book in a hotel and you get X amount of money to spend, or we can go for days out every day for a week, and you can have the money that we would have spent on a hotel. We just tried it 1 year,
Yeah.
and that's what we did. And you know, it was really nice.
Yeah.
It was a lot of driving for my dad,
Yeah.
because he was driving 2 hours some
Yeah.
days, because we was going all around the Yorkshire
Yeah.
coast and that,
Yeah.
sort of Whitby, Scarborough,
Yeah.
Hornsea and all
Yeah.
them, and then back round the Skeggy area and that, and Mablethorpe, and places I can't even remember. There was
Yeah.
one place we went to, and the beach was right up to the buildings at the front. Now, the sea didn't come right up to the buildings, but I remember being in a pub. Now, I don't think I'll ever find the place, because I have Googled and Googled. The pub was right up to the beach.
Wow.
Literally, the pub window was there, big glass-fronted pub,
Yeah.
and the sand came right up to the beach.
So it
and
gets
then,
washed away.
and then there was like this square, and then round this square where you could park, there was amusements. And I remember going in the amusements, and there was one of them Sinclair, You know them little bike things, what he invented?
Yeah.
I forgot what
C3.
Is it a C3?
Yeah,
There was one of them
yeah.
hung up, and it was like 5,000 bingo points to win it. So you would have to play and win 5,000 games to win it.
Wow.
And I remember saying to my mum and dad, do you think we'll win enough to buy that? To win that? And he said, I don't think we will. But it must have been in the 80s, because that's when they came out, wasn't it?
Yeah. I'd love
But
to
I
watch
have
one of them.
Googled all the seaside towns on the Yorkshire coast, and I can
Find
picture it
it.
in my mind. This
Yeah.
pub on the front where there's kids sat in the window,
Yeah.
and my mum and dad were having a drink and smoking and stuff like we did back then. And I remember looking out and thinking, oh, and then we did go on the beach for a walk. It weren't the warmest of days, and then we went in the amusements.
Yeah.
And I have been places, and I cannot remember where that was.
Isn't it funny? But in your mind's eye, that was
I
clear
can
as
still
day.
see it. I can still see the square
Yeah.
with the buildings around it, the pub on the front, but I've never been to a place where
We used to do holidays like that. I remember we would go to Brighton for the day, and then we'd go to New Haven. We'd have a day in Eastbourne and Pevensey. Then we'd go to Hastings
I've never been
and
to
Rye.
Hastings.
Oh, it's beautiful. But we would do, all the coastal bits, and we'd go to wonderful pubs and have things like crab sandwiches and, really lovely country stuff. But always, I'm sure for my dad it was about the pubs, but that's kind of a thought I've had as an adult. But as a child, they were always wonderful places, like the Pavilion in Brighton, and
Yeah, that's
going
where the
to,
ABBA won the Eurovision, isn't it?
I don't know, is
Yeah,
it really?
They won the Eurovision Song Contest.
I didn't know
at the
that.
Pavilion in Brighton.
Oh, it's stunning. What a building.
I've never been to Brighton.
Oh, it's lovely. The best thing about Brighton is a restaurant called the Ivy. Wow, it is a gastronomic delight.
Isn't that where all the celebs go? I'm popping down the Ivy.
It is amazing. It cost us 20 quid to park for an hour and a half to go to the Ivy. Yeah, it's really nice. Yeah, very good.
Well, I think we've covered plenty of good and bad holidays, haven't we?
Well, yeah, sorry about
Yeah.
that. Yawning.
Good and bad holidays.
Mm.
Well, yeah, thank you for joining me and giving me your good and bad
And
holidays.
thank you for sharing yours, Richard.
And Janie's been with me for other podcasts. We've done ones about Reiki and healthy eating, and we're going to do some more in the future. So thank you for joining me. That's all for this episode. See you again soon. Bye for now.
Bye for now.
Bye.
Tune in now, hey, don't you know? It's anything goes with Richard C. W. Mason Show.